Y'all gonna hate what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Cheating is not enough to leave that man. Y'all looking at me crazy, but it's true. I'm sorry, but I wholeheartedly believe that every single man cheats. And if you getting up under this post saying, oh, my man don't cheat, my man don't this, that means he's good at it. Long story short, if that man is treating you well, you are taken care of, you're not getting hands put on you, you feel me, he's providing, cheating is at the bottom of the list. All the bitches about to get in my comments like, oh, sis, there's people who don't cheat out there. Da, 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 da. Find them. Every single man cheats, sweetheart. And the sooner y'all accept that, the sooner you'll be happier.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continually teach us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's laboring in his word and truth and sincerity, Lord willing. This could be an edifying video. It's going to be a quick one. Title is going to be something along the lines of the pathway to Isaiah 4:1. Okay, because as you just heard in this video, which let me go ahead and establish this. Let me go ahead and establish this real quick. A man cannot cheat. There's no, this cheating shit, this is some Babylon shit. All right, this some Western, Babylon the Great, aka American, bullshit philosophy. Okay, you have adultery, which is a sin punishable by death, which, that adultery happens every single minute here in Babylon. But adultery is when a man sleeps with a woman who has a man. That's adultery, and both that man and that woman, if she didn't scream out, which means she enjoyed it, they're both to be put to death. Okay? But if a man takes on another woman that doesn't have a man, that's not cheating. That's not adultery. Which this woman did make a good point. She said, as long as that man is providing for you, pretty much taking care of you, then you shouldn't leave if he deal with another woman. Let me grab this in Exodus. This is one of the first scriptures that came to mind. Okay, because it's in our law that we can have another woman if we're able to take care of her. Okay? So, when I first saw that, I shared it in the chat because, this is it's a good sign, man. And it's only going to escalate. Women are going to become more to their nature as this place deteriorates and survival kicks in, and men are going to become more to their nature. See, in this wicked ass world, man, women are the new men and men are the new women. But everything is going to go back to its proper nature when survival mode kicks in, when all hell breaks loose. Okay? And that's why women are going to be willing to share a man, because a servant of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai will have resources and power to defend. Okay, divine intervention. So women gonna throw that pride and ego out the window, because women don't even view it the same as men do. We're totally different. This society has lied to people and said that men and women are equal. Anything a man can do, a woman can do. We're not equal at all. We're completely different, and that's a good thing. Okay, it's certain things that man can do. Well, it's a lot of things that man can do that women can't do. Okay, and it's for reasons, man. The Lord didn't make any error in the way he created things, man. Okay, but I want to grab this real quick. This is Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, which means, another, it says it, because in the kingdom, it ain't going to be no hookup culture, man. Okay, when you have sex with a woman, she is yours for life. okay? And she can't step out on you. If she does, she and that man gets put to death, okay? The only way a woman is loose from her husband is if he dies. If her husband dies, then she can, she can remarry, okay? But it says if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So all you got to do is just, make sure she has food, make sure she has, clothes or roof over her head, and give her sex. That's all we got to do for women. But in today's time, women are always chasing an upgrade. They're never content. They're never, truly satisfied. They always wanting more, especially, social media. They're constantly seeing how other relationships are, and they're envious and jealous of how other women are, treated. And, it's just this place has to go, man. But this don't mean that she gotta be in a $500,000 house. All you gotta do is be able to have it to where she's good. Okay? And whatever that looks like for you, long as, you able to take care of her, that's all that matters. You ain't gotta be buying her Gucci bags. You know how this society is, which in the kingdom, of course, our women gonna have everything they want. Okay, because we're gonna have endless riches. So they're gonna have, a castle here, a castle there, you know what I mean? A beach castle here. We gonna be able to, treat them, spoil them as a princess. But reading this in the NLT, if a man who has married, well, it says a slave wife. I don't know why it says that. That's not what it's referring to in the KJV. But I'll read it anyway. If a man who has married a slave wife takes another wife for himself, he must not neglect the rights of the first wife to food, clothing, and sexual intimacy. So, you pretty much, you got to take care of all your women. All right? But, what that chick was saying, cheating is not enough to leave a man, which if a woman leaves her man because he so-called cheated on her, she wanted to, a lot of these women, they'll use it as an excuse to cheat back, or because pretty much that's either she was already doing it and now she has the green light to just do it outright, or she's always wanted to do it and now she has an excuse to do it. All right, because these women will, do that, man. They'll leave a man for so-called cheating and then get with another guy that's gonna do the same shit to him, that he gonna cheat on, he gonna so-called cheat on your ass. Or she might deal with a guy who has a wife already. But nonetheless, this is a good sign, because things are reverting back to the old way. Because you women, you were created for the man, not the other way around. Let me grab that. See, Esau then gave you liberty, and then fed you all of this lies, then told you that, you don't need to focus on the man. You need to focus on school. You need to go to college. You need, have fun. And these women, that's all they want to do. They want to have fun, get slutted out, party. And then when they like 35 years old, then I actually had this bitch tell me this, last weekend. She was like, yeah, I want to, I'm still young, I got a mindset like she's still in high school. This bitch is about to graduate college. Talking about she want to move to New York, she want to party, have fun, and then when she's older, she want to settle down and have a family. That's how these women think, man. They want to get slutted out, have a whole bunch of sex, and then when they older, they want a guy to settle with and have kids. No, man. You supposed to be seeking one man to because your whole purpose here is to serve a man and have his kids. You're a walking, talking incubator, man. And women don't want to be viewed as sex objects, but all they do is sexualize themselves on the internet. That's literally all they do. All right. But this is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High. So Yahweh Shai is over us. And the only one over Yahweh Shai is the Most High Yahweh, which he's over all. Okay? But the man is over the woman. In this world, once again, Esau done lied and told you that, oh, men and women are equal. But it's a whole bunch of double standards, man. You're equal to the sense where you can sleep with a lot of men. You can work. You can, you can drive. You pretty much, you got liberty to do as you please. But, a man is never supposed to put his hands on a woman. A woman can never do wrong. Women are never held accountable here. This is the time where Jeremiah spoke about a woman shall compass a man. Okay? But it's all coming to an end. All right, so I want to jump real quick to verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Okay? Oh, let me read that in the NLT. For the first man didn't come from woman, but the first woman came from the man. Because in this society, they give all the credit to the woman, like we just came from the woman. No, man. Yes, the mother did carry the seed, but who put that seed in her? The man. But in this world, men are just treated and looked at as worthless, as not needed. Women have no respect for men. And it makes sense. Why? Because men aren't men. Esau is not a man. He's all about, worshiping the woman, exalting the woman. You got these Hollywood movies where women are just beating up a bunch of men. That's what Esau likes. And that actually, put a heavy delusion on these women. But reading verse 9, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. See, you were created for the man. Reading it in the NLT, and man was not made for woman, but woman was made for man. That's why the word woman, it means servant. And it used to say that on Google before they changed it. Okay. A woman, a wife is like a maid, is like a server. I went to this restaurant last week, and the waitress, she just kept coming up. Like, I kept telling her I was cool, but she just kept coming. Is there anything else? Is there anything? Are you sure there's not anything else you need? Or like, she just kept doing it. She was kind of doing too much, because I kept repeatedly telling her, like, nah, I'm cool, But I mean, I know she was doing her job, but she was doing it like a lot. Like, damn, bitch, you want me to leave or something? She was cool, but I just thought as she was doing it, I was like, man, this is how a woman's supposed to be. A real woman's supposed to serve her man, and if she's a real woman, she's going to enjoy doing that. See, this society would demonize women for doing that. What? You feeding it? You making his plate? You got his clothes out? You took his shoes off? What women hate to see women serving a man. They hate it. And that's why the first thing women will say, do better, leave him. Have sex with someone else. They purposely destroy relationships, destroy marriages, because they're bitter And women being a wicked vessel, they're going to listen to their wicked friends. They don't see that their wicked ass friends don't have their best interests, you know. But going back to that video, you know, her saying cheating is not enough to leave a man, you know, that's and that's Eve saying that. You know, it appears, you know, to be Eve. But you know, that's exactly the mindset these women are going to have in Isaiah 4:1. Let me grab that real quick, because there's going to be a shortage of men. So they're going to be willing to share a man. They're going to have to throw out all that pride and share a man. Let me grab it. Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Reading that in the NLT. In that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. See? That's how it's going to be, man. And 7 is just a number of completion. It could be more than that, you know, or it could be, you know, less than that. But it's going to be a lot of women, man. A lot of women out here, because it's going to be a shortage of men. A lot of men are going to die, like it says in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. A lot of men are going to die in a war, are going to die of famine, you know, are going to get sent overseas to the third war. So it's going to be a shortage of men, and women are going to throw out that independent, I don't need a man, you know, all this bashing men on the internet, making it seem like men are the problem. They're going to throw that whole mindset out the window, man. And they're going to be, like I say, fighting for each man, you know, arguing amongst themselves, competing for your attention, man. You know, saying, let us all marry you. So they're going to be willing to share. Okay, I don't care if I'm wife number 5, I'm wife number 7, I'm wife number 10. I don't care. Just let me be your wife. I'll do whatever you say. I'll serve. I'll do whatever. Just let me be one of your wives. That shows you how bad it's going to be out here, where things are going to revert back to the old way. It says, we will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take away our name. Only let us take your name, so we won't be mocked as old maids. So these women, they're going to want their reproach taken away. They're going to say, I won't be an extra mouth to feed. I'll take care of myself. Just take away my reproach. Just don't leave me out here to possibly be raped, possibly be grabbed up and murdered. You know what I mean? Don't leave me out here. Let me join your household. Okay? And this shows you it's going to be real bad, because women, it's so easy for them to get pride. You know, if she got a nicer car than you, she's proud. You know, bitches take pride in little things, you know, to where they develop an ego. But it's going to be so bad, ain't going to be no room for an ego, man. All right, and this is when the Lord is going to make his men more precious than fine gold to exalt his name. Okay, Isaiah the 32nd chapter goes into, a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, which represents the destruction. You know, shall be like, you know, rivers of water in a dry place. A man is going to be valuable, man. Chiefly a servant of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's going to be the top of the top man that these women are going to want. Okay? So I just want to do this quick video. Lord willing, it was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.